energy surrounds us and binds us.
What's up, Marvel fans, and welcome back to another review here on Carbonite Convos. Alec and I just finished watching Moon Knight episode 1, and man, I am blown away already. What are your immediate thoughts, man?
Yeah, man. So, without skipping much, we'll kind of just dive into this thing. So, like Nick just said, we just got done watching this thing. So, first things first, I am ecstatic for how creepy and how kind of scary this show is going to be. This is something different than what we've seen in the MCU so far. Like, obviously,
How many times have you said that in the past year and a half? How many times have you said that?
Well, what's crazy about it, man, is the MCU is continuing to grow, and we've said it a million times. There is no limit for the capacity of what they can do within the MCU. So this is just one new aspect of a character that is imaginable in this universe. But what I'm excited about is the focus of the show being on specifically Mark. And I like seeing him switch back and forth between the personalities. I feel like eventually we will get more communication between the two, just like at the end of the episode, we got them talking to each other as instead of him just blacking out. But I know there's another personality in there that we have not met yet, and that's Mr. Knight. So whenever he gets tied in, I think that's the one who's kind of narrating and talking in his head. But whenever that gets tied in, that will be another interesting one to see as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's going to be a lot like WandaVision, where we're going to question what's going on a lot, but I think we're going to come to that conclusion a lot quicker. Not that we'll be able to understand the disorder in any way, but that we will be understanding how they work in tandem, if that makes sense. So
right,
we'll
like when they want to
Steven.
switch off. Exactly.
Yeah, that it's Steven, Mark, Mr. Knight, like you say, because I think that's some of the most confusing parts now is, he goes from Thursday to Sunday. His fish has one fin, then 2 fins. So it's like, what's going on in between here? It still seems like it's Steven, but is it? So, I mean, it's clear that he blacks out and he can't remember anything exactly like the comics, but I don't know. It's strange, but it's awesome. I have no complaints in the series so far.
My biggest question right now is how long has he had all these other personalities inside his head and this Moon Knight power? Because there's no way he could have existed or lived a life up until this point and had a job and had a cell phone and a social life.
I don't know.
Where he's missing days at a time. So I feel like this is something new, and maybe the personality of Mark somehow is new to him as well. Obviously, we have no idea, but I feel like that's just another thing that's going to be answered.
I think the personality of Steven is new to him because, all right, so if you notice, his trash can is full. It's full to the brim of those little blue pieces of tape that he throws in there. And when he's on the phone with the girl, I can't remember her name, on the Razor flip phone, she says, "Oh, you finally answer. I haven't heard from you in months. What's going on?" And then when he speaks, she asks, why are you speaking in this accent?
Right.
So I think, if anything, the Steven identity is brand new to him. Yeah, so I don't know. I think Mark is his true self, and this Steven person is someone he's pretending to be. I don't know, pretending, or if he truly feels like he is him. But, we have the guy that calls him Scotty. We have his boss that calls him Stevie. So I don't really understand why they call him a different name. And you said it during the reaction when he says it specifically, it's Steven. Like, it points to his name. My name is Steven. So I don't really understand that. I don't know if that's something we'll get a explanation to, or if the simple explanation is the people at the museum are just,
jerks.
they're kind of just douchebags that don't care. like I said in the reaction, I'm really interested to see what the tattoo looked like on Arthur's arm when Steven when he was with Steven. Because when we are in the little village, we saw what it looked like when the good man was getting judged. We saw what it looked like when the woman was getting judged. But when he was looking at Steven, it pans up from the tattoo. So I'm curious to see I'm curious to see how the tattoo changed, which is really interesting.
Well,
to
he
me.
said specifically there's chaos in you. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine he didn't get a good or a bad reading, because if it was a good reading, nothing would have happened. If it was a bad reading, quote, bad, he would have died right then and there. So for him to say there's chaos in you, it had to have been some sort of just like things moving around everywhere, maybe a hieroglyphic or some sort of new logo appearing. That's like, what is going on? What if it was the
I
moon, the
like that.
crescent moon shape that showed up instead?
I don't know. I think the word chaos sticks out to me because that's not the first time we've heard chaos. Um, we heard it in WandaVision when Agatha was describing Wanda's magic. She said, "This is chaos magic." Yeah, I think magic was the word. Um, so I wonder if the two are related in any way. Um, but yeah, I like the idea of, a lot of things going on with the tattoo. I want to know why all of them have the tattoo. You think that if Arthur is kind of the head of this, I don't want to say cult, but I kind of don't know what else to call it. If Arthur's the head of that, wouldn't he just be the one that can judge people? Or maybe people who have been deemed good have that imprinted on them. I don't know.
So Arthur has to have some connection with, how do you say it? Autumn?
Amit.
Amit. There you go. Thank
Mm.
you. So he already has to have met Amit at some point, because I feel like for them to have the tattoo, they have to have, be in the small circle, and they've had to have seen some sort of, I don't want to call it
I
a,
think they went up they went up for judgment is what I took it
oh,
as.
and then they were allowed to come
But
in.
I
I
I didn't
understand.
get I didn't get the vibe that he had something with Amit
Well, I
already.
feel like for him, he has some sort of power, because for him to be able to walk on the glass, for him to be able to summon, I guess, this dog beast thing, it seemed
Mhm.
like he was in control of that situation. So
Who are you talking about?
Arthur,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Steven. Yes,
no,
exactly.
no.
100%. And the fact that his staff has Amit's head on it. Um, no, 100%. I agree. Um, I think the interesting part is when Stephen was reading the book at the very beginning. I can't remember the exact verbiage, but it said something along the lines of the essence or like the distinction between God and man. And I think that's exactly what's happening right now, because we see a man who's not a god, but yet he's acting like one, performing judgment, um, killing people at will. It seems like, I don't know if that's him or if that's Amit. Um, but Amit doesn't sound like the most friendly god. And it's
Right.
interesting how Steven said, "Oh, they must have left that out of the books," which I thought that was super interesting because they probably left out the part where she can read into the future, and that's where this cult comes in.
Mm.
Um, but I would like to know, more of the MCU's take on Moon Knight, and is if he's involved with a god or what that looks like.
Yeah, dude, I want to see, like, I feel like Arthur and Stephen, Mark, Mr. Knight, whoever, I don't know how we want to address him. I guess just Moon Knight in general are kind of the yin and yang of each other, because it seems like Arthur wants to be
He's
attached to say it
sorry.
Amit. There you go. Okay. Arthur wants to be attached to Amit in some capacity. Mark and uh, Stephen have this attachment to the god. So I don't know if Arthur is going to now go after him because he knows he has his attachment now and is going to try to steal it in some capacity. But that's my guess as to what's going to kind of happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I want to know the difference between, we see Mark and Steven with the Moon Knight suit on. I want to know the difference between them and then the like creature that we see following Mark, or that we
Right.
see following Steven, because it looks creepy. It's the one that changed into the old woman in the elevator scene. It looks creepy, but it also, I get the vibe that it's not, that it's a good presence,
Well,
because it is.
I think
I
that's Amit.
I don't get. No,
No,
I mean, I don't think that
the
at
one that
all.
was
Because
walking down the onto the elevator
yeah, I don't think that's Amit, because
with the
like
staff.
Amit was like an alligator. Um, Amit
Yeah.
was like an alligator
Mm,
woman, but the thing I'm talking about looks more like, kind of like it has a crow's beak.
mm.
Um, I think that is associated with Moon Knight. So
It
I
has to
think
be.
it's
So
I
that
think it's
has to
good.
be the moon god then.
Yeah, like I think it's good.
And that's the one because remember earlier he's like, "Oh, there's supposed to be 9 gods, not 7 because there was only 7 on the poster." And so these 2 that are missing, one of them has
And
to be this one that is following him around.
and it's clear that pretty much everybody at the museum is part of this, you know, part of this cult, because everybody's turning to it. I'm making up names, so it's like Julia, Fred, like
Yeah.
he's saying these names of people that work there that are clearly part of this group. So that's interesting. I didn't like it stuck out to me about the poster, why they would be so negligent about having the gods on it, but that's super interesting. Um, One thing I thought was really interesting at the beginning was when he's talking to the man that is posed. He's painted
He's
gold.
as a statue, right?
Yeah. I think it's really cool that, people come to take a picture of him and he says, don't forget to tip. So they tip. I just find it interesting because maybe that's the only person that he can just talk to, get everything out to, and they
Hmm.
will just listen and maybe not judge him and maybe not call him crazy or anything like that. So he gives him the tip at the end. And I just thought that was a nice, like tender moment of something
Sure.
where he can find a little peace in the world. So
Yeah,
I like
no,
that a
I
lot.
mean, it's obvious he doesn't really have anybody right now because he doesn't even know who he is. So
Mhm.
I'm sure it feels good for him to talk to somebody, and that
Yeah.
that dude who's the statue isn't going anywhere. So
No.
spill it all out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For real. For real. I thought the ending was badass.
How sick is that suit, bro?
That's an awesome suit. I
That's
I know we
really
always
cool.
bring it back to this, but I cannot wait for the pops. Well,
I'm hyped for
I
the pops. I'm hyped for us to see him like transform into it.
yes, where it like kind of
I- I've
appears over him.
I've purposely avoided all the little clips that Disney Plus has like put
Oh,
out
really?
about it,
I've watched them.
just because I want to be fully surprised whenever those situation come up.
I've seen a few. I mean, no spoilers or anything, but it's
Yeah,
yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the series. I'm already wondering if there's a season 2, and maybe that's bad for us fans to, watch episode
the
1 of
first
season
yeah.
1 and just already say, "Yo, where's season
Where's
2?"
season 2 at, bro?
But man, episode 1 had me like enthralled the entire time, which is, I think that's what a show is made to do. So I was completely satisfied with episode 1, and I'm excited for episode 2.
Yeah, man. Obviously we gotta wait till next week now, but for for episode 1 of a new standalone character show,
Mhm.
I'm very happy with it because obviously,
Yeah.
just like with any introduction, things are gonna start out a little bit slow. It's gonna happen. It's part
You
of it.
have
It has to. You have to build up. You have to explain background stuff and get people a little confused and asking questions and then tie everything back together. So it's a process. But for the first step of the process, I am very happy with the show.
No, I am too. And it's really exciting to have another origin story. Well, not origin story. Well, yeah, kind
Yeah,
of.
it's an origin story.
Yeah, but just to have another standalone character, because as much as we love Endgame and No Way Home, and I'm sure we're gonna love Into the Multiverse of Madness, um, you know, I think it goes a long way when you can just watch something about one hero or one vigilante again, you know, and not have the movie bogged down by 30
40
heroes.
different characters, right?
Exactly. So I like this. You can kind of get a more intimate not intimate, just you can get more of a connection with that one character, and there's not so much going on. So I'm super excited. Do you have anything else?
And that's pretty much all I have. I feel like going forward, the show's just going to get crazier and crazier and crazier each week. So I'm already ecstatic for episode 2. Episode 3 can't come soon enough after that. So I'm just ready to get into this thing, man, and see where it goes, you know?
No, same. But I think we're going to wrap it up. You know, thank you for tuning into our, you know, pretty brief review. You know, I think the consensus is we really enjoyed it. So let us know what you thought in the comments. While you're at it, make sure to go check out our reaction to episode 1. You can find the link in the description. So thank you for tuning into this one. And, you know, until the next time you're on Carbonite Convos, may the force be with you.
Remember, the force will be with you. Always.